Memo to the Chargers. It's a trap. It's a trap game. Be on the lookout. The Kings finally do right by their second best defenseman. And after yesterday's college football games, how high do you lift up USC? Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is a big day, not just because of sports, but it is September 11th. Prayers to the people who lost their loved ones both on that tragic day and, of course, in the so-called war on terror. Now, regarding sports, if you like the content we're about to give you about LA, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. It's Sunday. I am not God. I do not know everything. So before we go through all the news and notes around LA, we've got a lot of games from yesterday to talk about. Freddie Freeman and Trey Turner combined for 7 RBI last night. The Dodgers have reduced their magic number to 4 by beating the Daylights proper out of San Diego 8-4. Meanwhile, in college football yesterday, USC obliterates Stanford 41-28. It is the Trojans' first win in Palo Alto since 2014. And we have a ranting recap of both USC and UCLA games. Look on their respective playlists. You'll see it. UCLA, by the way, they had a backup quarterback, Ethan Garbers. He ran for 2 touchdowns. Don't worry about Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I'm sure it's all precautionary. UCLA 45, Alabama State 7. And in MLS soccer, Ricky Puig penalty kick in stoppage time tied the match. We have a rapid recap of that as well on the LA Galaxy playlist. LA Galaxy 1, Nashville 1. Meanwhile, LAFC has lost 4 of 5 matches. Tough night out in Dallas. FC Dallas 2, LAFC 1. Meanwhile, today, you have Andrew Heaney. He's 2-2 for the Dodgers. He'll face Joe Musgrove of the Padres 9-6. Dodgers versus San Diego. That game is at 1 o'clock. And NFL finally kicks off for the LA Chargers. Las Vegas, the Raiders are coming to town at 1:25 p.m. I've been scouring. We have 2 things to tell you about the game. 1, there is a preview on the Chargers playlist on this channel, where I break down all the matchups, both when the Chargers have the ball, when the Raiders have the ball. The Chargers and their fans are really excited about all the additions that they made. This is a trap game. The Raiders have upgraded too, and apparently for the first time in many years, they're playing with discipline. This is not a team to take lightly. And for the latest note, I can tell you, Adam Schefter of ESPN is reporting that J.C. Jackson, the crown of the Chargers free agent signings, is not expected to play, which leads to a green light for Davante Adams. Now, just yesterday, I was bringing up the need for the LA Kings to sign defenseman Mikey Anderson. And only an a-hole would take credit for that. And I am just that a-hole. Thank you. No, look, here's the deal. They knew they needed him back. The Kings wanted to bring him back. But the Kings had spent so much trying to keep their better players, and of course their major trade for Kevin Fiala, that they needed to play a little bit of hardball with Mikey Anderson. He's 23. He's a very sturdy, responsible defenseman. Matter of fact, I was trying to describe his game, and every adjective that I could come up with would be the same adjective you would hear in a tire commercial. Oh, he's trusty. He's sturdy. He's reliable. I just like, dude, what are we talking about? Driving in the rain over here? But the thing is, he really is somebody that you need back there as sturdy and reliable. They pair him with Drew Doughty, and Drew Doughty likes to take risks on the offensive end. So they need somebody in the back line who can make up for that. Mikey Anderson, at a very young age, is turning into an incredibly responsible NHL player. They have allegedly $1.3 million left in cap space. Sean Dursey has yet to be re-signed. And by the way, the Kings start playing preseason games less than 3 weeks from now. I'm still not sold on USC's defense. I'm not. I don't think it's sustainable to get as many turnovers as they have in the first couple of games. And I do believe that Stanford gained a lot of yards, both rushing and passing, over 200 each in rushing and passing. Rice rushed for over 150 yards. But having said that, I have to give credit where it's due. The defensive front had 12 tackles for loss against the Cardinals on Sunday. So maybe they're starting to put something together. I don't know. How high would you rank the Trojans, by the way, after yesterday's victory? Now, the AP polls haven't come out yet, but CBS and ESPN, they like to forecast where the polls are going to be. CBS says the Trojans should rise to number 7. And one of the reasons that they're not higher is that fantastic offensive unit has not been tested yet. ESPN, however, is more impressed. They'll lift them up to number 6. And frankly, they're liking the fact that USC's defense creates a lot of turnovers. Interesting story that broke this morning about the LA Rams. Not that it's going to wind up meaning anything in the long term, but the Rams were apparently going to go out for Jimmy Garoppolo if the 49ers cut him. They did view him as a backup for Matthew Stafford. Frankly, that would have been an intelligent play because Stafford has had rested all offseason due to right elbow issues. And if you look at the Rams' backup quarterback issue, Stafford goes down, the Rams are toast. There's just no nice way to say it. But I also have to add something about the Rams that I've noticed. St. Louis Rams great Torrey Holt said he was, quote, pissed off, unquote, when the team came to LA. Well, that's ironic. I was pissed off as hell when they left for St. Louis. So I guess he and I have something in common. Here's the difference. My team was brought back because it was the right move for Los Angeles, for the financial future of the Rams. The team left LA on the whims of an ex-stripper. So there's that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even count I'm a Rams fan, grew up a Rams fan, Eric Dickerson. When they left, it was one of the darkest days of my life. I never liked the St. Louis Rams. The only time I started paying attention to them when it became obvious through the rumor mill that they were coming back. I hate Georgia Frontier for taking away my favorite team. But you know something else? If you really think about it, there's probably a 96-year-old bastard out in Cleveland sitting in a wheelchair, flies buzzing around his colostomy bag, talking about how pissed off he is that the Rams left Cleveland to come to LA. So there's that. Everybody's pissed off. And everybody still finds it in their heart to somehow forgive the Rams. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because after all, I'm one of them. You recall how many people out there, how many pundits were convinced that Dustin May was going to be just fantastic, no problems whatsoever when he came back from a Tommy John surgery? I mean, the LA Times said he's probably going to be their number 3 starter in the playoff rotation. Well, what I can tell you is he's not mowing people down. He's had 4 starts, including one this weekend in San Diego. And in his own verdict, Dustin May says he is getting progressively worse. Now, he's not talking about pain or going on the disabled list. He's saying the results stink, and it's on him. So it's not a lock that he's going to be mowing people down through October. Meanwhile, relief pitcher Blake Trinan is back on the injured list. This is bad news. He was one of their best pitchers last year. He's back on with a shoulder issue, and that's the same shoulder that kept him out of action for most of the year. Andre Jackson has been called up from AAA to replace him. I want to congratulate Ryan Hollingshead. He's considered one of the best defensemen in MLS, LAFC, they lack on defense, so they bring him in about a year ago. They needed him on the back line. So he makes his return to the only other team that he ever played for, FC Dallas, the team that made him who he is before he gets more money with LAFC. And he gets thrown out of the game in the 13th minute with a red card. Dude, come on, man. Slow clap for Ryan Hollingshead. Lets his team down and they lose 4-5. Dude, come on. Now, having said that, I got to keep it real. I'm a Galaxy supporter, and my best player lets me down all the time. I mean, look, I keep reading that when you get a penalty kick, you have a 90% chance of converting it. Chicharito, since he's joined the Galaxy, has had 9 penalty kicks and has only converted a 4. He is the Shaquille O'Neal of penalty kicks, right? He missed 1 penalty kick in each of the last 2 games, and this is not an insignificant thing. If you think about it, the Galaxy tied those 2 games. If they had gotten those penalty kicks, they would have won both. They have had a chance at 6 points. They get 2. They are on the outside looking in for the final playoff spot. This is not insignificant. It is no wonder that when it was stoppage time and the Galaxy, miracle of miracles, get another penalty kick, Ricky Puig did not play. He grabbed the ball as if there was no question who was taking it. Imagine the Galaxy missing the playoffs because their best striker can't convert a penalty. I had no idea that the guy who owns the LA Times and the San Diego Union Tribune also owns a big chunk of the Lakers. I didn't know that. I also didn't realize that Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong also wants to own the Angels now. I should have went to med school. I didn't want to go to med school. I wanted to talk sports. But apparently the way to become a heavy hitter in sports is to go to med school. Who knew? Who knew? Medicine is gross, by the way. You got to pay a price to wind up owning a sports franchise. Finally, there's a website called Hoops Habit that says the Clippers are posed to overtake the Lakers in LA. No, they're not. Stop it. Even if the Clippers win a title this year, no, they're not. Stop it. You're not Hoops Habit, you're Hoops Heroin. You guys are in need of an intervention. Everybody tries to create the clickbait headline. I'm here to tell you, 1 title, which they don't have yet, versus 17. The Lakers, stop it. It's not even worth a discussion. I'm ending it here. Now, if you like the content that we put out about LA sports, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something here for LA sports. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow, and we will have a recap of the Chargers game later today. But I'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte El Queso production. Take care.